Yeah, and what's really good about how they play is out of possession. They're so comfortable. You know, they get into a good shape and they're comfortable. You know, you look at the distance is always right. And then when they win the ball, I always mention about being efficient. They win the ball and they spring from that. You know, they've got good individuals, they've got good players, so they're gonna cause you problems. They're gonna create chances, and they've got a centre forward that's got 10 league goals at this stage of the season. You know, it's a great return, and you know, he scored again today.
And a defender in Milenkovic who settled in so well into that Forest side. He's great, isn't he?
See, mate, he's a big boy, by the way.
He's massive.
Jermaine, you wouldn't be chasing you around the football pitch, would you?
Brilliant stuff. OK, look, there is a lot to talk about, and we will do so.
You just celebrated your 3rd birthday the last time Forest won at Old Trafford, and judging by the celebrations there, this feels like a historic day. Will it mean a lot for the club and the supporters who've travelled today?
Look, definitely. I think it's shown where we've come from and where we're wanting to get to. Come to a place like this is never easy, and we want to come challenge ourselves and believe in ourselves to get the win here, and that's what we came to do.
What areas did you try and exploit?
Well, we just try to play our game and what we were working on. It's been a long week, a long, tough week, but 6 points out of 9 has been fantastic.
With your header, are you looking to hit that back post? Were you looking to get it back into the danger zone? What was the thinking? It was a lovely cross.
Look, it's just finding an area. I mean, Morg's put in a beautiful ball. I mean, it's pinpoint straight on my head, which is nice. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah, just trying to find an area that if it causes some confusion, it might drop in.
10 for the season, and I'm sure you're aware you are now Nottingham Forest record Premier League goal scorer. So many congratulations. What does that mean to you and your family?
Look, it's fantastic. It's nice that I can keep doing well for the team, and that's what I want to do. Keep pushing up and keep getting as many goals as possible for this team, and just see where it can take us.
How long can you keep that record?
Exactly, and just keep pushing as far as I can to sit in stone for a long period of time.
Well played.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks.
Well played indeed, and the 10 league goals that Chris Wood has scored are very special goals, and especially to score on his birthday. And then have a look at the league table, because this is what it means. They're up to 5th. It's actually something really special at this club that Nuno is creating now. Yeah,
but it's an amazing football club with amazing history. But you talk about Chris Wood there, you know, he's a goal scorer, and you know, he gets into areas. It doesn't really complicate anything. You know, he's a focal point when he needs to be, holds the ball up, brings people in play, and he always gets himself in the box where he's going to score goals. You know, and he's efficient in the final third. He's brave, and you know, to score 10 league goals, you know, at this stage of the season is amazing, and you can see him getting a lot more.
Yeah, let's have a look at his goal, shall we, Owen? This was the goal that took it to 3-1, and he just seems to be in such good form this season.
I'm not sure he's trying to score here, Sima.
No.
I think, first of all, they do really well to win the second ball. I think he's just trying to head this back across goal. But he's smart. He knows, because the ball's that high, he probably can't get enough power on it to actually head it in the goal. So he kind of heads it back. But again, you've got to get to Gibbs White. You know, great delivery. The guys just puts that into an area, puts the defenders under pressure.
Yeah. But when
they're a bit unlucky, aren't they, Delict and Martinez?
Yeah, I think you have to stop it at source. I think when you've got like a presence like Woods in the box, surely, you know, you stop it at source. You have to block the cross. You don't want that ball to go in the area. So I think even the detail around that, you have first of all, you stop the cross. Don't let it even go in there. But people just standing off him. And like I said, he's got a lot of quality, Gibbs White. And he puts it into the right area, and you end up conceding.
And as I mentioned earlier, now Chris Wood is Nottingham Forest all-time top goal scorer. And you know, as a striker, what those accolades mean. It's very, very special to hit those milestones. It
is special. I mean, you look at the list there, Brian Roy, Stan Collymore, who's someone who I looked up to, you know, fantastic centre-forward. Stuart Pearce, what's he doing there?
Yeah, scored some goals from.
I know, penalty, yeah, but like, I mean, it's amazing. You know,
actually, the last time that I mentioned that Forest actually won at Old Trafford, Stan Collymore and Stuart Pearce both scored in that.
Oh, really?
They did.
But like, he'd be delighted with that. But even when you see in the interview there, his demeanour, you know, he's someone that wants to, you know, continue to score goals, and you never know what they can achieve at the end of the season.
Well, that was my next question, actually. What do you think they can achieve? I mean, it's very, very tough at the top of the table, but they are currently 5th. They're just a couple of points behind Man City at the moment.
Well, I think it's tight from 2nd to, like, 10th even. You know, but the thing is, nobody's going to want to play them. And I think also, you know, we saw what Villa did getting into the Champions League. While you're there, they'll be thinking, can we get back into Europe? You know, the history that they have in Europe. Could you imagine them getting back into the Champions League? That would be a remarkable story.
Huge for the club. OK, well, let's now shift our attention to Manchester United and hear from their boss, Ruben Amorim.
Well, Ruben, not the result you wanted, obviously. What are your thoughts on the game right now?
Tough game. We start really bad In the first play, we suffer a goal, and then it's hard in this context to try to fight that. But we then controlled the game. We had a lot of situations. We improved, I think, the movement in the last third, especially in the beginning of the first half after the goal of Nottingham. But then we block a little bit the game. We managed to draw the game, and then in the half time we were ready to go for the win, and then start again really bad. 2 goals, and then we try everything with not a lot of quality, but we try it, and then we lose the game. We didn't have many situations to score. We had some, but tough game in the tough moment, but we have to continue the job.
You said about the poor starts to both halves. That first goal after Wednesday, corners, is that extra disappointing for you?
Of course, and we are just focused on that. We had 2 days when we focused a lot on that, but they managed to score again. It's hard. It's hard for the team because I think the team felt a little bit. The public also felt that moment, and you can feel it. But like I said, this is a long journey. We have to continue. We are improving in some aspects. We have to win games to help us to improve the team.
Do you learn more from defeats than you maybe do from victories, from your players, about your players, and about the job that you've got?
You pay more attention. But in this moment, even if you win, we are in the start of something so big that we pay attention in every detail. And we'll be there again. The next game and the next game. That's it. That we already know that is a big job. So we have to continue.
Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you very much.
2 wins from 5 for Ruben Amorim. He said it's a long journey ahead, which it will be because he's still getting to know this team and still getting to know his players. What do you think he can achieve with this club this season, with this set of players? Because he does say it's a long journey and it feels like there's still a lot of work that needs to go on.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say is he's a great communicator. He's a great talker, and that's even off the back of a loss. So I think it was interesting, he said, we tried, but without much quality. You know, that's a pretty
big statement.
Pretty big statement also from the manager. So it's going to take some time to figure it out. But the thing I like is he's really open, he's really honest, and I think he's quite critical when he needs to be. So he realises they got to up the standards. But what are they, 12th, 13th?
13th.
I mean, the dream was probably to get to Europe, but that's looking pretty unlikely. They need to go on a little run here. Obviously, City next, that's...
With Europe in between as well.
Yeah, but they'll win the game in Europe. You know, that shouldn't really be an issue. But then obviously City. So I think the fixtures-wise, you know, the Bournemouth, with Bournemouth Wolves coming up, you know, they are winnable ones, but they need to find a way to get a few more wins and climb up that league table.
They certainly do. And he also spoke about the poor starts to both halves.
Yeah.
So let's take it right back to the beginning. And in 1 minute 91 seconds, they were already behind.
Yeah,
1 minute 31, sorry, my maths is terrible.
Yeah, and you know, you can never come into leave the game too early. I mean, you see here, you have to be dominant. You know, set pieces, you always want to try and make first contact. And you see here, the setup's quite good. You see, and it's just a little bit of movement, and it's just not strong enough.
Well, and the thing is, there's only 3 of them marking, Jermaine.
Yeah.
He's meant to mark Milinkovic, but obviously we saw him walking up. He's massive. You know, he looked like an American football player, and he was just too big and too strong for Martinez.
For Martinez, even then, he didn't even jump, and he couldn't jump, to be honest, because I think when he just held him there, you know, it was just not strong enough.
Yeah, and to go behind so quickly in the game, you're already, you know, struggling from the start. But then Rasmus Højlund took it to 1-1, and you noticed that Bruno Fernandes was really important in the build-up.
Yeah, it's really nice, actually. You know, it's a really nice little layoff, bit of patience, and really good football. Obviously, Garnacho was a little bit unlucky, good save from himself, but Højlund's there, and that's the thing. You know, this is Bruno in that, you know, number 10 position. It's obviously being marked. He comes to the ball, he's saying, and he says to De Ligt after, pass me the ball. You know, he's demanding it. So as it recycles, he's waiting for that moment. It's really interesting. Watch him. He drops off a couple of yards in behind because he's trying to create that space, and then he creates the moment. That little triangle between De Ligt, Fernandes and Ugarte, a little set, is perfect, and then they're off. And that's what Amorim wants. He wants to create these little triangles all across the pitch. Really good football, but it was instrumented by Bruno Fernandes. He was almost coaching out there on the pitch saying, De Ligt, you got to play the ball in the right time, and the weight of it was perfect. We'll see on another goal where they try the same thing and they get it wrong.
How important is Bruno in this setup for Man United in terms of what they can achieve this season?
Well, Jermaine, I was amazed he went off. You know, he created that goal,
And then,
scored another, and for some reason, the crucial part of the game, when you need a goal, you take him off. If anything, he's the guy right now. Him and Ahmad are the two where you'd say,
keep him on.
They're gonna create you something. So I'm guessing he'll probably regret that, because I thought Bruno was the one guy that was. Everything was running through him.
I think everything goes through him. And even with the goal there, Højlund's goal, you can see that he's coaching it. So he's coaching it, and that must be massive for a manager. That's why when he come off, we were a little bit surprised. I was like, why is he taking him off? Couldn't understand why he came off.
Interesting decision there. Okay, and then early in the second half, again, it's the story continuing where they concede pretty early, Jermaine.
Yeah, again, it's for me, it comes from the goalkeeper, to be honest. He gets it here, and so I just can't understand sometimes. Even goalkeepers think, right, sometimes you just got to go over the pressure. But you see, they get it here, and with the first half, we spoke about obviously the connection between the players, and they're trying to play out and that, and it's just a misunderstanding really. And then I mean, when you watch it here again, like they try to play out, fair enough, and that, and then there's the connection here. Bruno Fernandes, I thought there's a triangle there that we saw in the first half. But then I thought, you know what, if he could maybe take 2 touches though, just to sort of like play in his path.
It's not a great ball from Bruno, but Euro overruns it. And then obviously Gibbs White gets into a good spot. You see Onana, you can see it. Everyone's going to say, this is Onana's fault. It looks like he should save it, but when it spins away from him at the end, watch it goes from left to right. And I think that probably just throws him a little bit. He thinks that's going to go into the bottom right corner of his. But Gibbs White, people that can strike a football, they can hit it both ways. They can hit it with spin that way, or they can cut across it and it goes into the other corner. I think the spin actually is just done Onana a little bit. He still probably should save it. But again, that we saw on the build-up, the way they were trying to build up. Euro, Fernandes, they probably didn't understand the distances.
Yeah.
And, and then again, when you make mistakes against teams like Nottingham Forest, you're going to get punished.
What kind of skill level does it take to put that much spin on a ball like that?
I think, in situations like that, we're talking about it like I think you just got to hit the target, but it's practice. Players do it in training. They're trying. Owen was amazing at it. Try and get that sort of like dip on the ball. When you hit the middle of the ball, but when you watch it, you still think, God, he could have done better. But I understand that it moves towards the end, and he's sort of like leaning that way because you expect it to go this way. Naturally the ball goes the other way, but then you still look at it and think he gets a hand to it. So that's why probably I'm thinking maybe he could have done a little bit more.
But his weight's already going this way. He thinks it's going there, and then the spin does him at the end. So it's just like, I think when he sees it back, he'll probably think, I made my mind up too soon.
Yeah.
If he was set, then he probably would say, I think he just got shifted there, and once your balance is there, you can't get back.
Well, we saw Chris Wood's goal to take it to 3-1. Let's have a look at Bruno's goal. So this takes it to 3-2.
Bruno just sits into his little pocket, but we're going to see it from this angle, Seema. It's so interesting. There's so much detail in this, and this is how smart Bruno is. Jermaine, it's really interesting, isn't it? He's like, he realises, I can't get it here, and I got to create an angle from. Keep moving, Seema. And it's brilliant. Keeps moving. Great way to pass.
The way to pass,
Ahmad. That's a fabulous goal.
I think there's just so much in this goal. I think initially the pass from Bruno, the quality to do that, I think he's probably the only one in the team that could do that. And then to have the sort of like football intelligence to know that actually everyone's running back towards their own goal. You saw Rashford sort of like running in beyond, and Bruno sort of like just hangs back a little bit. And then obviously the way to pass, but then the finish at the end of it is brilliant.
It was beautiful, wasn't it? Well, look, there you can see the Premier League table. Manchester United are 13th in the table, 19 points from their opening 15 games. I just wonder now, as we look ahead, of course, you mentioned they have the derby, Manchester derby coming up next weekend, and obviously every game is now important, isn't it? Especially if they want to climb further up the table. We talked about team selection at the start. He made 6 changes for the Arsenal game. He made another 4 changes today. Do you think he's any closer to finding his best 11? Or are you expecting more changes to still come?
Probably not yet. I was surprised Mazraoui didn't play. I think he's been Man United's best player this season. But he probably wanted to maybe give somebody else an opportunity. Obviously, Luke Shaw, he came back and now he's back out. So he hasn't been able to find a settled team. I do think his team, in the end, will be Mazraoui, Euro, Martinez. I think that would be his back 3.
I can even use the chat feature if I have questions about the meeting, like what were our favorite slogan ideas, or create a schedule for this project based on what we agreed on. Now meetings are a lot less stressful because I can be fully present and confident that Otter will capture everything, and it will organize that information into something simple and actionable.
This is something that I would pay a lot for, but you can get all of this for free. So don't join another meeting without it. Tap this video to get Otter AI now.
Well, Ruben, I imagine a lot to think about and process after that. What are your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, it was a tough game. We start the two halves really bad, and this is really hard in this context to pass some calm to the players to continue to do the game we should do. We tried in the end with not a lot of quality, but with a lot of heart. We try it. Not in the best way, but one game we suffer a game. We suffer.